Hi, friends. It's me, Stacy Royal with RoyalGemsAndMinerals.com and Crystal Ascension on Facebook. We are going to see if we can hear Laura because I can't hear Laura.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello. You can't hear me at all.
We'll see who's hopping on. I can't hear you, Laura.
Let's see.
Hi, Debbie. Welcome. Happy Monday.
Hi, Debbie. Can you hear me, Debbie?
Happy full moon. We'll give this a second to try and work out the kinks. If you're here, say hello. Tell us where you're watching from. We would love to know. Hi, Lark. Happy full moon.
Hello.
Hi, Anna. Nice to see you. I'm actually on time tonight, so that's a good thing, right? Hi, Wanda. Happy Monday.
Hello. Can you all hear me?
Hi, Kathy in Maryland. Nice to see you. Yeah, I still can't hear you. I'm going to have the husband take a look at it for a second and see if he can.
Come on, husband.
So I'll be right back. Yeah, we can't hear Laura. It's the only problem. Cool. The husband said he's working on it, so that means it'll be fixed in a moment. Hi, Serena. Welcome. Hi, Tanya in Florida. Nice to have you. I'm so glad you can hear me. Good. I'm glad. I don't know why we can't hear Laura, but like I said,
they can hear me.
Lark, you said you can hear Laura? Okay, that's good. That's bonus.
That's awesome.
Jason said he can hear you too.
What the heck?
I
love technology when it works.
Maybe I'll have to put it on the laptop so I can hear it too. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you all can hear me. Nice to have you all here.
It'll never be easy, right?
Right. All right. So I'm glad you all can hear. That's cool.
I know, but we're going to try.
We're figuring out some new stuff.
Oh, I'm so glad you can hear us both. Hi, Ria. Happy Monday. Oh, hi, Jamie. You got nap trapped in the car. It happens to the best of us.
That happens. So easy. I can hear Stacy. I can hear Stacy great. New Zealand. Hi, Amber from New Zealand. What time is it there? I love talking to people on the other side of the world because it feels like they're in the future. I mean, they kind of are. I love that. I love that concept.
Hi, Amber in New Zealand. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you.
Oh, New Zealand people in the house. I love it.
Could I maybe have your phone with some headphones, babe?
There you go.
Or something? Thank you. Well, I do have some full moon crystal confetti. All the good stuff is in there.
So pretty.
There's rainbow moonstone, clear quartz. There's some amethyst and some tourmaline for some grounding. He's gonna see if he can get me some headphones so that I can hear Laura too, because I can't hear. So, yay! So feel free to chat away, Laura, since I can't hear you.
Right?
Just
gotcha.
say good things
No
about
worries.
me.
I'm definitely a chatty person, so it's funny that she can't hear me because that's not usually been a thing in my life where people can't hear me. I'm usually quite loud and boisterous, so I don't often have that problem. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad I got to come on tonight. We've been talking about doing this for a while, so I'm excited to get this going. It's amusing that the host can't hear me, but everyone else can. Technology is so cool when it works. I mean, let's just face it. We got people from all over the world on here right now. I'm in Wisconsin. Stacy's in Wisconsin. We got New Zealand, Florida, Vegas, Colorado, Canada. Like, that's just really freaking cool that we have all of these people from all over the globe on right now. I love when technology brings so many souls together. It's just taking some gratitude moments there to honor all of the energies from around the world. Loving it. There are always learning curves. Exactly. And we did a little test before and everything looked like it was going well, but you know, that's what happens. We unite under the full moon. I know, I'm so excited about this one. This one really got me going. Stacy and I have been talking about doing this for a while, and then I have 5 kids. She has 5 kids, so life just kept happening, and then the full moon would go past, and we'd go, oh, we missed it. So this time it was happening. The Gemini full moon. Gemini. Any Geminis in the house? Gemini sun signs, Gemini moon, Gemini risings? Anyone in the house? Put in the chat if you've got yourself some Gemini energy. We got New Jersey here. Got some Jersey in the house. That was terrible. Sorry. I should not do accents. In my head, they sound really good, and then they come out my mouth, and it's just not good. Ooh, we got a Sag. Well, we got Sun and Sag, so it's Sag season. Nice. Couple Geminis. I love it. Tammy, you have 5 boys. Blessings upon you and all those little penises. Man, I wish you all the best. I got 2 boys and 3 girls. It's a ride. Ooh, we got Aquariuses. I love me some weirdos. Welcome, Sarah, the weirdo Aquarius. Independent, unique, rebellious. Oh, we got Heather the Cancer, super sensitive, so she's the mommy of the group. Some feelings, some healings. There's Debbie the Capricorn, nice and practical, pragmatic.
I can hear
Aries.
now.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear now. Jason gave me some headphones in his phone, so.
I just been chatting away.
Good. Making new friends.
I am. I'm reading all they're telling them about astrology already.
Good.
Sagittarius, today's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Anna. Yay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. That's awesome. Fantastic. Leo, we've got a Leo sun in the house. We got to give some praise to the Leos. Got a couple Libras. Those are our peacemakers and our harmonizers of the group.
Loving Libras.
Yes. I love it. Our Sagittarius, couple Sagittarius is in here tonight. They are the explorers. They are here to expand, explore, and bring new ideas, new energy into the world.
I like that layout.
Okay. We can hear you.
Good.
Okay.
Hi, Jason.
Laura says hi.
Hi, I can't hear you right now, Laura.
That's all right.
We can hear him. He just can't hear us.
Oh, there's my
Great.
Taurus friend. Hi, Rebecca the Taurus.
Because
We
the
love
other
some
one that you
grounded,
had was very
stable.
focused.
Oh, just peaceful
Okay.
energy. And there's our healer, the Pisces, Kelly. We've got to have some healing, feeling.
Hi, Kelly.
All
Welcome.
spiritual. Yeah.
So we have all kinds of full moon crystals out tonight, too.
So pretty.
I know I didn't even send you a sneak peek.
No, you didn't. I get to see it full time with everybody. Look how pretty it all is. Ooh.
I know I'm echoing. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, Wanda. We'll make it work.
I don't hear an echo on my end from you, Stacy.
I hear it on the headphones.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Technology glitches.
So fun. And the full moon just makes it even better. Thank you, Tammy.
Tammy, you have an awesome last name, I just have to say. Oh, Cat the Scorpio is here.
Yes, just like me.
Bring in the intensity.
That's right. So if anyone would like a scoop of full moon confetti, let me know and I can put you on the list. Our deal of the night are the Mortierites. So these calm excitement and calm the excitability. They're $7.77 tonight.
Save me 7 of those.
Right? So these are really good for focusing on the connection between parents and children and just calming down all the high emotions of a household. Yes. Tanya, you'd like a scoop? I'll write you down. And Anna, yes, I'll show you the ladies.
All right, ladies. Well, I've got some Star Codes Astro Oracle deck that I'm going to pull a card from for the overall arching message of the evening. So, giving it a good shuffle, seeing what wants to come out. Ooh, Serena wants a scoop too.
I wrote you down, Serena. So I'll show you the ladies. These are a set for 44. You have the maiden, the mother, so beautiful, and the crone. They are 44 for the all three, and they are made out of resin.
All right. You want to know what we got? Third house, which is communication, which I think is super comical because Gemini rules the third house and communication. And we got ourselves a Gemini moon. So guess what our theme is tonight, everybody? Communication.
Yay!
All right. So our book says, if your chart were a village map, the third house would represent your local neighborhood, primary school, and corner pub. It symbolizes how you learn, communicate, and move around your familiar world based on your sibling-like relationships and the people in your local environment. So the action with this house is you need to check the lines of communication and your thinking process. We're going to talk about that as we go through the night. So first you have to repair any actual technical glitches. I'm not even kidding. It says that. Isn't that comical?
That's hilarious.
First, repair any actual technical glitches, loose wires, computer, or phone problems. I can't even, you guys. I can't. I'm out. This is just ridiculous. All right. Then take this metaphor a step further and look at how your messages are sent and received. Make sure you understand what was intended in a letter or an email that you sent or received. Ask other people what they heard you say in an exchange to clarify. And when in doubt, ask for more information and repair any miscommunications.
Sometimes can be hard.
Heck yeah.
All right, I'm going to do a scoop for Tanya. I mixed it all up while you were talking.
Yes.
So that's for the general energy tonight.
Yes.
Full moon is communication issues.
Yep.
Oh, you've got a bracelet charm. Got a moon pendant in here.
Nice.
Big blue gold stone. Look at this. You got a little baby amethyst star. And the other goodies, you did get some tourmaline and some hematite to help you with those stressful communications.
Right? What's a stone you really like for communication?
I like lapis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I think I got lapis in my ears. I'm pretty sure JJ made me some lapis
Yes.
earrings. Yeah.
And since you're new, Tanya, you get a punch card with us, so we'll give you a punch for your confetti. If you buy 11, you get your 12th scoop free.
Nice.
I'll keep track of it for you. And just make sure at the end of the live, you take a minute and send me your email address.
Nice.
Yeah. Good. You put your crystals out under the full moon. Perfect timing.
So I just want to say hi to everybody and officially introduce myself. So my name is Laura Lee Lotto. Stacy and I met at an archery center.
Where we were both late.
Yeah, we were both late. And we homeschool our children and went to a homeschool field trip. And we were the last two there. And I walked in all frazzled and complaining about too much crap with kids and whatever. And she was like, wait, I like this one.
Yep.
And we just kind of connected from there. And it's been phenomenal. And we see so much potential with helping to heal and just create community within this goofy online space, right? That we're all a part of now. And we've been meaning to do this connection together in the crystal realm and astrology realm. And because we have a ridiculous amount of kids, it just hasn't happened yet until tonight, which is Gemini moon, which Stacy and I both have Gemini moon natally. So I thought that was just perfect timing to start something
totally
together.
serendipitous.
Yep. Collaborative Gemini friendship space. So we have a couple Geminis in the house, and what they love more than anything is information. So I am an astrologer. I am also a health coach, and I am an intuitive, and I combine those things to become an astrological health coach intuitive. And I do people's astrology charts, and I do readings for people, whether it's a parent or a child, and help them understand each other and improve communication by giving you information, or whether it is a sibling relationship between your kids or your spouse, you and your spouse, or you and your mom, or whoever. I love helping people with relationships specifically. So that's one of my favorite things to do. And I'm so excited, Pamela. You're a Gemini sun and Gemini rising. Well, you and I are good friends because I'm a Gemini moon and Gemini ascendant. So, yay! Look at friends on the internet.
Very
I love
nice.
it.
Ria, I did put you on the list. I'm going to do a scoop for Serena. And Doug, I agree with the moon water. If you haven't made moon water before, I highly suggest doing it with the full moon. You can put crystals in your water as long as they are water safe crystals. Or you can put crystals around your water bottle and set them out to get energized by the full moon. Be careful if you're in these northern states, though, because it'll freeze tonight.
Yes, it will. Yeah. So Stacy, with your children, and I know some of you said you've got some children, and whether we have children or not, we all interact with people. We are all in this 3D reality, and we're here with people, and we're doing relationships. So if you have some struggles in the relationship realm with communicating, put it in the chat. Tell me what you're, if you struggle with a kid or you struggle with even just yourself, understanding and learning how to take your ideas and put them into words and spit them out is sometimes a struggle. Thanks, hon.
Yes,
Oh my gosh, you
exactly.
guys. I just got a
All right.
whole plate of
While you
dinner.
guys are typing that in, I'm going to do a scoop for Serena. Ooh, got a pyramid. Very nice. Have an agate point. I see some aquamarine in there and a bracelet charm. Some howlite for some peace and calming there. I know I've had a couple of readings with Laura, and she has always helped me figure out different ways to communicate with my children, which is nice.
Yeah. I was attempting to change my child, my firstborn, when I had him and he turned about 2. I was really starting to recognize that I was like running into a wall, attempting to communicate the way I was communicating was not the way he needed me to communicate. And I really just kept feeling like I was running into a wall. And at this point, I had been doing astrology for a while, but hadn't really taken a deep dive into his chart. So when he was about 2, he's 14 now. When he was about 2, I pulled out his chart and I really started looking at it. And I realized he is an incredible amount of earth energy, earth element. He's got a ton of planets in earth. He's like 60% of his chart is earth. And I don't have any earth in my chart. So I've got a lot of air and a lot of fire. And I was attempting to move a mountain by blowing really hard at it. It wasn't working. So I had to change the way I communicated and learn to communicate in a new way with this earth mountain child that I created. And that was one of the first times I really started to implement astrology into my relationships fully and really understand another person from their perspective. And it's been super helpful and super amazing. So that's definitely one of the ways I recommend utilizing astrology for sure.
Did you see Debbie's comment? She said having trouble communicating with her spouse. They've been married 48 years.
Woo!
Congratulations on that.
Go, Debbie, especially with communication struggles.
Yes.
High five to you, Debbie, for the 48 years. That is amazing.
Yes, it is. You're welcome, Serena. And Pamela, a scoop is all these goodies here. It's $19.99 for a quarter cup scoop. This is all crystals that support the full moon energy. When I send it to you, you get a list of all the crystals you can find in here. And I make sure that you get some type of goodie in your scoop. Wanda, I will put you on the list. Ria is next. Dog, I like green jade. Green jade is so good for healing and helping us just kind of regenerate our energy and our cells a little bit faster. Great for the flow of abundance as well. And hi, Jade, welcome.
Serena, yes. First of all, I love your daughter's name, Artemis. So your daughter's a Cancer and you're Sagittarius, and it seems like all you're doing is arguing for the last few months. So if she's 8, that tells me she is at her Saturn square energy. So what's happening there is Saturn is a planet of growth and maturity, and he has a 7 to 8 year cycle. And so every 7 to 8 years, that means he basically has an interaction with your natal spot where Saturn was when you were born. So when you're born, Saturn's at one spot, and about 7 to 8 years, he comes into an energy which is called square. And it's almost like running through a stoplight and having a hard crash. It's a real tough energy. So what happens with that is there is tension and struggles that have to be overcome. And for children, around 7 to 8 is when they get out of little kid stage and into bigger kid stage, and they start to create a new awareness around themselves and their maturity. And that's what Saturn rules, is maturity. So that is an age that's tough to deal with in general, because they're really they're not that little kid anymore. But in general, we've got the sun sign of Cancer and the sun sign of Sagittarius. So we've got kind of a moody and broody feeling energy, and then a real uppity, changeable, happy, optimistic energy. And sometimes they can conflict with each other there too. But I think diving into your charts for sure and finding out where your Mercury is at, planet Mercury, to see how you two really communicate and how we can really facilitate healthy communication between you as she goes through these stages and changes, because it's going to hit again around 15 when Saturn comes opposite itself, and then again around 21 when Saturn squares itself again. So we need to kind of keep helping our children through these growth spurts and these maturity cycles. So I'd be happy to hook up with you and do a reading sometime for you and her.
Abby's sister and her husband are both Capricorn. Both strong-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Lay. Welcome. Good morning. Ria, I'm going to do this scoop for you. I know you're wanting that selenite bracelet. We'll see. We'll see if it jumps in your scoop for you. Let's see. The scoop looks kind of small to me. Let's see. You have Geo, chevron shape, more amethyst. So you have a labradorite, charm, rainbow moonstone. All beautiful. I feel like it's really low. I think a big one is like blocking. That looks better. I'll do a punch for you too, Ria.
Yes, Doug, 30 is definitely a difficult age for people. That's where Saturn makes a full return. So that 29 to 30-year-old year cycle is at full Saturn return. And that is when we really have growth and maturity we have to look at. And what things do we really need to work on karmically? What karmic healing needs to take place? And it really causes us to kind of grow up and take a look at our life. And if we're leaning into our Saturn lessons and what Saturn's teaching us, we can get through it fairly unscathed. If not, we get a cosmic frying pan upside the head. And I know all of us have had at least one of those. They're not fun. Yeah, that big girl, little kid phase, it's really tough. It's really tough. And if she's Cancer, just really let her be moody and broody and let her go into her little Cancer hidey hole when she needs to. And then when she's ready to come out and talk to you, then really just lean into compassion, lean into the feelings.
Heather says her husband and her are both cancers, and she's empathetic almost to a fault, and he is not at all.
Oh, yes.
All those big emotions.
Yeah. This is where the rest of the birth chart really plays a huge role. So, our sun sign is what most people know, but there's a whole bunch of other planets that affect us energetically. So, we're very multi-dimensional people, right? And there's lots of planets in the universe. So, how I like to explain astrology is basically our squishy little brain gets easily influenced by the energies around us. And when we are conceived and grown, we are protected by the water and chamber of our mother. And then when we emerge, we get this downloaded program in our brain, basically, our universal program. So where the planets are very much affect all of the layers of us, all of the dimensions. So that's why a Cancer sun sign here can be really different than this Cancer sun sign, because there's so many different placements and locations which give us that depth.
Heather said she's definitely interested in a chart. They're 10 days apart. I didn't know your husband was a Cancer, Heather. I knew that you were.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Serena, those are all valid. Yes. That you want your baby to stay a baby. I think we all do at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And Rhea, you're right. These would be so cute in a junk journal. This is Wanda's scoop here. Wanda, you got lots of goodies. You have the moon charm, an opalite star, sodalite ring, nice geometric shape, and a big amethyst. So pretty. I don't have any loose bracelet charms out tonight, Debbie. Yeah, Heather, you should definitely send Laura a message, and she can get you her scheduling information to schedule a reading with you.
Absolutely. And I am running a special right now on gift cards. If anyone's looking for a gift for anyone, I've got 25% off all my gift cards. And you can use them on yourself if you want to, and or give them to those hard to buy for people who are like, I don't know what to get you. Here, figure yourself out. So I love the skeptics, especially. So if you've got some skeptics in your life, send them my way. They are my favorite. They're my favorite. My husband, who has 4 planets in Capricorn, if you know anyone like that, they are probably the most skeptical people. So I love that he was like my first guinea pig with astrology, and he gave me right. It's so lovely to have like a test subject, right? And he gave me my favorite line ever. He said, astrology is too creepy accurate to ignore. And I was like,
Right?
I love that. I'm stealing that line. So,
Hi, Venetia. If you would like a scoop of confetti and a punch card, all you have to do is let me know, and I will put your name on the list. You're first right now, and I'll make you a punch card. And at the end of the live, I just need you to email me your email address or send me a private message.
Oh, Danielle, your baby's going to be 17 in January. Oh my gosh, I feel you. I feel you.
Right?
I know. Mine's 14 and a half right now, and he's like 3 inches taller than me at this point. His father's a foot and an inch taller than me, so I know that this is happening. But it's just strange that now when I hug him, like my head goes on his chest, and I kind of like that, and I kind of die a little bit inside.
Right. Yeah, Miss JJ is going to be 13 on Saturday. So many changes.
For real. So I also have some information now, because Gemini likes that information, Gemini moon. With a full moon, we're working on releasing energy. That's really what you want to be focusing on, is releasing kind of like purging your closet, right? Why do we go through and purge our closet? Because it's gotten built up and we don't even know what's in there anymore, right? You purge the stuff that isn't serving you. So Gemini moon, full moon, is about releasing ideas that are stagnant or old or not serving you in the best ways for you anymore. Gemini is an air sign and it's mutable, which means changeable, flexible. It can hear one piece of information, take that in and go, okay, cool. And then grab another piece of information and take that in and go, oh, okay. And it can change its mind. This is actually what drives many people nuts about Gemini as well, is the changeability, right? But we need people who are flexible and changeable, and we need to embrace that part of ourselves. Even if you don't have Gemini in any planets in Gemini in your chart, you still have the energy within you. It's still in your being, and it still gets activated when planets go through there. So with this full moon, you're being asked to really dig in to the beliefs you've been taught, to the information you've been given, to what you are communicating to others and how you're speaking to yourself. And work on releasing the negative. Release the old that doesn't serve you. Release, 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 and gain a new perspective. That's what we're doing here. Woo, woo.
And the Gemini energy is so inspiring to me. My best friend's Gemini, and she's like just shown me that you can hit the bottom, you can hit like rock bottom, and you can come back from that, and you can like reinvent yourself so many times, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, I love the reinvention properties of Gemini.
Yes. Rebecca, if you're having trouble with the audio, you may try going out of Facebook and coming back in. If anybody can see her comment and just tell her that, type it, because it won't let me reply to her. Doug, that's always a good idea to clean your aura and balance your chakras once a month. That is great.
For real. Yeah.
Lark said her husband's a Capricorn and he's such a skeptic. Strong-headed too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have a organic homestead here we live on in Wisconsin, and we have 2 goats and 2 donkeys. And I think it's hilarious because my mom and husband share a birthday in December in Capricorn. So I'm born to a Capricorn, married a Capricorn, and then I decide to get the most stubborn asses and goats to have on my farm. And I was like, right. I clearly really like this stubborn energy. It works for me. I love it.
Jamie, that's so true. Laura knows all about how the full moon energy affects people. She says she had a professor who was very science-based, but he said when he was in clinical and hospitals, he would always mark the full moon and Mercury in retrograde because it was so hectic.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite comments are the ones about like, oh, I don't believe in astrology. I'm like, that's okay. It's not a religion. You don't have to believe in it. It believes in you. It's all right. It's my understanding of it is it's frequency based, right? What are crystals if not frequency based, right? Everything Stacy's touching right now all has this resonancy of frequency,
totally.
Right? And there are people who are more susceptible to the frequencies or more in tune with them, and that's because of their birth chart and their placements. People like me who don't have any earth in my chart at all, I'm super, super sensitive to these energetics. And it's like I get blown around like a kite, right? I have to throw my anchor down to my grounded son and my grounded daughter and my spouse and all of my friends who have these nice earth placements. So I get really easily thrown off, specifically by these air full moons. They really, really can get me. So it's amazing how the energy really is there, and we have the technology to explain it, and how the frequencies of the planets kind of come down to Earth and then download our little brain. It's just, it hasn't been recognized by science, even though it's one of the oldest sciences there is. So, you know.
Exactly. Heather P, I did your scoop for you, and you did not get a goodie in here, but this bracelet was really trying to hang out with you. So
Oh, look
I
at
added that
that.
for your scoop, and I'll punch your card for you. Danielle says her husband's a Scorpio
I
and he's
saw that.
stubborn. Danielle, quit talking about me.
Danielle, we feel you. We feel you. So Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius are the 4 fixed energies. So fixed, think of something that's fixed. It's stable. It's stubborn. It's not moving. So even Aquarius is an air element. Well, what's a fixed air element? What does that look like? I always like to think of that as like a box fan, right? Why do they put swivel features on fans? Because it's irritating to have a fan blowing at you constantly for long periods of time. It's too much. So that's like Aquarius energy. It's fixed until suddenly it changes, right? It's on level 3 and then you change it to level 1, but it's still fixed. So those fixed signs like Scorpio and Taurus and Leo and Aquarius, ooh, they have some stubbornness to them, but we love them. We need them. We
I'm
thank
not
them for
stubborn
their
at all.
service. Yeah, not at all. You're funny. Oh, that's beautiful.
It is Seraphonite.
Oh, wow.
This is wildly high vibe. Really great overall healer. It's one that really deepens that connection that you have in your heart. I like to wear Seraphonite, but I have these beautiful moons.
So pretty.
All different moons and stars out tonight. Hi, Paula. Welcome. Tammy says her husband's a Virgo.
Ooh, we got some analytical nature there. Gonna analyze everything. So what can you do during this Gemini full moon to release? Some ideas would be to speak or journal or sing, right? There's all kinds of ways to communicate. Some people like to communicate through art. Some people communicate through movement and dance. There's a lot of ways to communicate. But in general, this energy really lends itself towards journaling or writing of some way, some type of words. Gemini likes to use lots of words all the time, much to my husband's dismay. So using your journal, if you haven't journaled in a while, that's fine. If you haven't journaled in forever or at all, that's fine too. You just never too late to start. So write that down. Oh, that's so pretty, Stacy. Seriously. Write
Thank
down what
you.
you need to let go. Yes, communicate through touch as well. Thank you, Doug, for sure.
I'll show them to you, Rhea. This one's 19. This one's 25. And the biggest one right here is 34. Then we have the deal on the Do More to Your Right for $777 tonight. They're regularly $11.11, so that's a great deal. Jamie, your daughter learned a new word today. How exciting! Tammy, the spotted moon is zebra calcite. Let me see what else. This one It's carnelian, great for some motivation and increasing your energy. I was going to mark some of these down while Laura was talking.
They're so pretty.
This is
I love
garnet.
that face one.
Face on both sides. Now, using crystals in the shapes of moons and stars are a great way for you to just connect to and think of and feel the energy of the moon and the greater universe. And a lot of the moonstone crystals are ones that are going to help you connect deeper into the energy of the moon. So we have like rainbow moonstone. There's some moonstone back here. And I have green moonstone and peach moonstone, but all of those are just really, really great, helping you feel the energy of each moon, be it the full moon or the new moon, and just really keep you in flow. Manifesting, setting your intentions, all the moon energy.
Speaking
I have
of
a
moon,
couple of the full moons.
Oh, I love that.
Right? So these are clear.
Look how fun that is.
So they're going to amplify the energy. And I have one howlite, calming down that energy. So these are regularly $35.55, and they're on sale tonight for $29.99. This is Dragon Blood Jasper. I have two of those, two clear and one howlite. Debbie said next to the garnet. I think both of these, Debbie, were carnelian. You only have one shop in Calgary, Doug? Oh, that's hard. Well, I do ship to Canada as long as we estimate the shipping first.
Nice.
Let's see.
Well, if you are someone who is struggling a little bit to dig into your moon and your own emotional energy and really do some deep explorative work, I actually, because I'm a Gemini moon and a Gemini ascendant and need to help people communicate, I actually created workbooks specifically for this. So these are on Amazon. You can get these. They're called Elemental Emotions. And I have them specifically written for your various moon sign. So if you have your moon in an earth element, then you would get the earth one. If you have your moon in an air sign, like tonight, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, you'd get the air one. But I wrote it as like a workbook to help you dig in deeper and kind of discover some emotional stuff that you need to dig up and release, because not everybody's able to access that easily, or has had trauma around that, or has not had good support with that before and is now just learning to explore that and learning how to do that. That's what these books are great for. I have each of my children who are 10, 12, and 14. I have them working on these at least twice a week. I'll have them take their journal and go answer some of those questions before bed. So
I like the journal. I have mine, and I like that it asks you kind of those uncomfortable questions in a way that make you really think through things. Really nice.
So, Tammy, how do you know what your moon sign is in? That's phenomenal question. So you can do that on your own at, I like to use astro.com. That is a great website. You can enter your info in there. Or if you would like a reading or want some help with that, that's what I can provide you with as well. So that is something I'd be thrilled to go into with you. The moon changes every about 2.5 days. So it's important to know where your moon sign is, because it does really affect a big part of your life. In fact, that was one of the biggest things for astrology when I got deep into astrology. Learning about my moon sign was like the thing that hooked me and pulled me down the rabbit hole because I felt so validated and so seen internally, because your moon represents your internal world, the yin to your yang of your sun sign. So your sun sign's like your identity and your conscious, and your moon is your yin and your internal and your feminine energy. So that's not something we talk about often, but it's how we feel, and it's important to identify properly with that.
These are intense energy with a rhodochrosite. And this is becoming more and more rare these days, as the most active mine was closed down recently.
Really
These
pretty.
are
They
just
match your
beautiful,
nails.
very strong emotional healing with rhodochrosite. And it's pink.
So Danielle, how do you know what your rising sign would be? Again, you'd need to have enter your information into a chart. Your rising sign is very much determined by the time you were born. So you need to know the time as accurately as possible to get exactly what your rising sign is. And what the rising sign is when the constellations were moving through the sky when you were born. It's the sign that was rising or ascending in the east. So that was the moment of birth. If a birth attendant, ran outside to see what constellation was rising, that would be your ascendant or your rising sign. And in astrology, this depicts how people see you or view you initially. It's like your filter of your picture. So, and it's also the lenses in which you kind of look through life. So it's kind of that filter initially, or the outer layer that you show up with. And then once people get to know you, they get deeper and deeper into the various layers of your energy. So I can help you with finding your rising sign as well.
And Laura makes it super easy to find out all of that information.
Practicality and making it understandable is my thing. I really want people to understand and make it, apply to your daily life.
That's what it's all about. We need those practical things. Usable.
Well, exactly. I've had some astrology readings a couple years back, and I'm not kidding. I left that reading. I just was so confused. I didn't feel like it was helpful at all. The reader did not apply it to my life or give me like tangible assistance in really any area I was looking for. And I just remember leaving that reading going, ugh.
Right? Yeah.
That's not what is going to be helpful, right? It needs to be understandable and make sense to you.
And I feel the
in your
same
life.
thing about crystals too, is
Yep.
people need guidance on how to use them and what to do with them when you have them. And that's what I enjoy teaching about, is their properties and what you can do with them.
Yeah.
I was looking for my flashlight for a second. I have this rainbow moonstone that I want to show. I bet you not me ran off with it.
That's funny.
So these are so fascinating and one of my favorite crystals to work with. These balance all of your chakras. And I show it to you with the light. You can't see the colors that vibrantly unless you're out maybe in the bright sunshine or under a bright light. But that is natural to the obsidian. And it's all about calling in that positivity. This one is 3222. I have one smaller one. Yeah, I'm still having a pretty bad echo on my end, Rebecca. I'm just trying to ignore listening to myself. And this one is 1555. A nice pocket piece of rainbow moonstone.
That's a good question, Stacy. How would you use that to help balance your chakras?
I would say keep it near you. This one would be a great size to keep in your pocket, but also you can intention it, you know, hold it into your hands like this. Any type of crystal that you can hold in between your hands. You have these energetic portals in the palms of your hands there. And you can just think to it your intention, or you can speak your intention out loud if you feel comfortable doing that. But you're going to just ask it to check all of your chakras, and if there's any blockages, to release them and to make your energy run more freely. And you would just hold it between your palms, especially right there in the center is a good spot. There's different ways that blockages show up in your chakras. You can feel really unsafe or lonely if your root chakra is blocked, and they tend to go from the bottom up. And chakras are the rainbow colors. They're those energetic spirals that go up our spine. And you can remember them by the rainbow colors. So red is going to be your root chakra. And if that one is blocked, you can feel really unsafe or ungrounded, even lonely. And if that one is blocked, it's blocking the energy of all of the chakras above it. And that's kind of how it works as well. So any blockage you have in your chakra is going to block all of the chakras that's above the one that is blocked. If your sacral chakra is blocked, you can feel not creative. You just feel like you aren't having new ideas, or your ideas aren't good enough. With your solar plexus chakra, when that one is blocked, it can feel like loneliness. You can feel like you're not being your true self. You're not like letting your light shine. And then you have your heart chakra. That one can really feel like closed down, not open to giving or receiving love. With your throat chakra, that one's going to be blue. And that one is not speaking your truth, not standing up for yourself, really not holding your boundaries. And then you have your third eye chakra, which is between your eyes. And that one is the indigo color. And that one can feel like not connected, not having your intuitive insights coming through clearly. And then your crown chakra is going to be purple, and that one can make you feel really disconnected or alone even. And when you have your crown chakra is blocked, it can just really make you feel not connected to source or to your guides. You can just really feel the heaviness of the universe. So yeah, those are like the types of feelings that will let you know blockages that you're having.
Yep. And there's definitely astrological placements that are in people's charts that can lead towards like chronic blockage, right? Chronic chakra blockage. For example, my moon sign, so my heart chakra, is directly opposite my planet Uranus, which rules the nervous system. and is very much associated with the solar plexus because it's right where adrenals are and the seat of the nervous system, right on top of the kidneys. So for me, my chakra issues tend to be solar plexus and heart related. Those two seem to be where my challenges lie, where they kind of get like they get all out of whack. I use the word discombobulated quite frequently. I feel very discombobulated when stress hits me or when I'm not doing my practices to really breathe and ground and just be. And I'm letting the overwhelm take over. That seems to be the thing for me, the trigger for me to, as soon as that happens, my chakras, I can just feel it. I can feel almost like like my hackles on a dog, like my hackles go up, right? Along my spine, right? In that specific area between my solar plexus and my heart chakra. So there's definitely placements in people's charts that indicate more out of balance things happening more often, and that you need to work on that. And that needs to be your thing that you really put energy and emphasis towards. So again, another reason why getting astrology readings is so helpful to understanding your overall health and well-being, whether it's your emotional health or your physical, your spiritual, your mental health. They're all interconnected. And
Yes, they are.
yeah, that's what I help
So Danielle,
understand.
if you think all of your chakras are blocked, you definitely want to start from the bottom up. And there's different affirmations that you can use, different crystals that you can use to support that. And the energy of the planets and things also play a part
Yeah.
in that. And like Laura said, they change constantly.
Yeah. I love that you
So
brought that up today, Danielle, because today is this full moon in Gemini is actually a great time for you to change that inner dialogue, right? Instead of saying, "Oh, my chakras are blocked," you go the belief first, right? And you speak it into reality. My chakras are aligned and flowing well, right? You work on that new perspective and keep speaking or communicating the new belief and the new thing that you're working towards. So this is really, again, this third house in communication card that I pulled very much leans towards that. It says, take that communication metaphor internally and look within. Notice the quality of your thinking, right? Repair any glitches and stretch your mental muscles to improve the quality of your communication within yourself and to yourself. So speaking that into reality, my chakras are clear and flowing. My chakras are aligned. I feel aligned, right? All of I am statements are really important. Great time to do that right now with this full moon releasing energy. Serena, your question, when you look around and feel like the planet is screaming for us to stop destroying it, and it's like no one but you can see it and you're powerless to do anything. Is that being blocked? No, I think that's being tuned in to the reality that we live in.
right. So
I think you're really, really tuned in. We live in a really crazy time right now, and we are so bombarded by the information and energy of what's going on that it sounds like you're overstimulated and you're hyper tuned in.
Yeah.
Which can be, just as detrimental as being blocked, right? We got to have that healthy balance. What do you do, Serena, for grounding? Do you use any specific crystals? Do you do any specific mantras, any meditations, affirmations?
And getting outside is always a possibility, especially you live in Florida.
Oh, for real.
Yeah. You could definitely work with tourmaline or obsidian. Any black or red crystals are going to be really grounding and safe feeling.
Mm-hmm. And just know that we are living in a massive time of change right now with Saturn and Neptune, both in Pisces. We have this Saturn, this planet of authority and discipline and structure and hard work in this beautiful flowing healing energy of Pisces. And Pisces is very collective energy. It's very intuitive, very sensitive energy that we can all feel, and we're all connected, right? It's like asking the cloud where it stops, right? And it's all interconnected. So the water molecules are connected to that and everything. We are all one thing. So Saturn in Pisces is definitely creating this awareness around the suffering of humans. And it's hard and it's painful. And Saturn does rule fear. So we have that awareness of what others are feeling and experiencing, what the earth is feeling and experiencing. So it sounds like you're just tuned in, and your job is to do what you can do, right? Do the things you can do and be in your highest energy. Live in your energetic best self. And that's why astrology readings are so helpful. So you can create conscious awareness around what you're here to do, what your map says you're here to do.
Yes. And also, if you're outside, if you're able to be barefoot at all, that can be really, really good for grounding.
Debbie, what is your moon sign? I don't know what your moon sign is. I would have to plug it in. It's based on the date of your birth and then the location you were on the planet, whether you were in Wisconsin or New Zealand or wherever, and then what time you were born. It's like the area code and the phone number. We need the coordinates. So, because someone born in Wisconsin on Monday, March 29th, 1982, like me, is not going to have the same birth chart as someone born in Australia at that exact same time. It's very, very different on different sides of the world and different times. So your moon is where the moon was when you were born, and we'd have to plug that into our system and see when that was. So I'd be happy to help you with that.
Danielle, yeah, you can go outside when it's freezing out and barefoot. Just don't do it for long.
Yeah, run fast.
There is a guy here, local in Green Bay, and he has not worn shoes. I think he's coming up on 5 years.
Really?
Not wearing shoes year round. He goes grocery shopping. He's an active runner, and he advocates going barefoot year round and how healthy it is for you.
That's one of those. I'm glad you do you, buddy.
Right? It's pretty interesting to follow his story, though.
See, now my chart, my brain wants to see his chart and be like, okay, where's all the heat and fire in your chart that feels good to you? Because to some people, like, that's great for him and his energetic field, but that doesn't actually work all that well for everybody. You know, there's 8 billion of us on the planet, and I'm so glad he found barefoot year round works for him. I can't even comprehend that. You. Oh, he doesn't work on a farm and live on a farm. No, just no. Nope. There are some things shoes are required for.
Exactly.
So, Rhea, you've got a sun and moon in Sag and a Virgo rising. So you get your Mercury in the 4th house, sun in the 4th house, moon in the 4th house. Look at all your 4th house. You mama energy. Holy man. Family, family, family. Venus in the 5th, Saturn in the 7th.
Have a great night, Amber. It was nice for you to hop on. Feel free to send Laura or I a message anytime.
Yeah, you can find me at lauraleelotto.com. Nice and simple. So, Rhea, you've got so much in the 4th and then Venus in the 5th. Family is a big deal for you. So for those of you that don't know the houses in astrology, those are the areas of life or little slices of pie where that planet's energy will show up. or will manifest the most frequently. So if you don't have any planets in certain houses, that's fine. Again, you still have that zodiac energy. So, for example, the 4th house, Rhea gave us such a great example. Sun and Moon and Mercury all in the 4th house. So that's very family oriented. That's the area of life where we really focus on parenting, not necessarily our own children, but that's one way the energy can show up. But it could be parenting dogs, it could be parenting the people at your work, it could be parenting anybody. But it's this kind of parenting type energy that you carry. But your family is usually very important to you. Family things, traditional things, following tradition. That seems to be a theme for 4th housers. And then the 5th house has a lot to do with children and raising the children and playing and having fun and very creative. So Venus in the 5th house, you love to create, do art, go to Hobby Lobby. That's my favorite thing with anything creative.
So Jamie is Rhea's daughter, so it's so true. That's why she's good at momming, Jamie.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
Yes, Rebecca, watch out for those snakes in Florida for sure. So I'll tell you the moons, Debbie. I had a Caribbean calcite. I'm kind of quietly marking things down as Laura's talking. Caribbean calcite, peaceful, calming energy. We also had the garnet moon, calling in that light and bright energy and determination. And then I had a ruby zoisite star. This is a chunky guy, 2555. Very compassionate energy.
Compassionate energy. You get that star for your Capricorn folks. We love them, but compassionate is not necessarily their strong suit. It's not that they can't be. It's just that it doesn't come out as smooth as they hope it would. They typically show their compassion through acts of service.
We also have a ruby zoisite moon. I do have 2 of the stars. We'll mark some of these down.
Yeah, get those for your Capricorn friends. Serena, I do believe that your name has a big part to do with your future, for sure. I love the name Artemis. She's a goddess of so many amazing things. My son is into Greek mythology, so I've gotten schooled on this for many years. One of my children's name is Gertrude, and that is a spear maiden or strength of a spear. And I don't know if I recommend using that name because boy, does it fit. I look forward to anybody challenging her as she gets older. But it's been interesting to watch that spear maiden come to life as she matures. So I do have a big thing. Oh, your mom is Gertrude? Oh, I love that. Hi, Kim.
I did not know that, Kim. Hi, Kim. Happy Monday. Her mom always goes by Trudy.
Okay. Yeah, we do Gertie here, but we thought about Trudy as well. So one of the things too for Gemini is friendships. Friendships are really an important part of the air elements, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So one of the things a full moon is going to ask you to really, really reevaluate is your friendships. Who are you spending time with? Are they two-faced? Are they saying one thing here and then showing another face at another time? Are they dragging your energy down when you really need to be lifted up? It's typically this duality with Gemini. So one of the things that this moon highlights, is the black and white nature of that Gemini, the yin and yang, and recognizing when friendships are not serving you well anymore and when it's time to release that energy. So really take a look at who you're spending your time with and make sure that they are lifting you up and bringing you to that higher vibration.
That's so true about friendships.
So you had a mom named Gertrude and she was called Trudy, and then your aunt was Gertie? You got a lot of spear maidens in your family. Don't mess with them. They take you down. Yeah, Artemis was the goddess of the moon. Yeah. That's so fun that you're here chatting with us tonight. I wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about. Yeah. And the harvest and all kinds of, food stuff, hunting. Artemis was a great hunter. What a great name.
Hi, Trudy. Nice to see you. We were just talking about you.
Her ears were ringing.
I know.
Oh, I love that, Tanya. What's this full moon mean to an Aries? Your birthday's March 30th. Well, hey, birthday buddy. My birthday's March 29th. So actually, Aries and Gemini is quite compatible. So this would be an energy that would feel quite good to an Aries as far as that changeability. So it's something that feels good to shift and we're on to a new subject. We're on to something else. So Aries energy actually does really well with this type of full moon. Actually, any of the air element full moons, Aries loves it. It's something that's natural and easy to do. So this should be
I don't
one
know
that
if
just
you saw Wanda's comment. She said her daughter's birthday is 3/29/84.
Woo! Well, we're friends.
Right?
That's fun. I'm 3/29/82. Nice. Look at that.
Nice.
I love that. So
We do have
definitely
full moon confetti tonight if anyone's interested or wants on the list.
Do it. And different signs get very affected by the different moons. I know you guys know that. Sometimes you're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And sometimes it just blows right past you and you don't even feel anything.
Right. We were just talking about how pretty your name is, Trudy. I didn't know that Trudy was a nickname. And you're a Libra, loving Libra.
Aw, so sweet. So Leo's with the moon too, Jessica. Similar energy to Aries. Really, those fire and air signs go so well together. The biggest problem with Leo I can see is that you would be maybe even too optimistic about the change and too happy about too excited to make the change and maybe cut people off or tell them how you feel or communicate. It could be a little brash at times with that energy, just because fire and air, when you blend those together, poof, you get some intensity. So I always warn people when there's an air moon or a fire moon and you are a fire and air, just know that it could get a little hot at times, maybe a little spicy, right? A little caliente. Oh, that's such a pretty one.
I feel like Sagittarius energy is just spicy in general too.
It can, yeah. Oh yeah.
So having the full moon in Gemini with that just makes it super exciting.
For sure.
This is Moonstone. So pretty.
That is
I have
so
some
beautiful.
Moonstone we found in Wisconsin. Just is so amazing. It comes right out of the earth this way.
That's so cool. Tanya, your son was born on your birthday. That is so cool and very, There's a lot of like serendipity in charts like that. When I read parent and children charts who are born on the same day, there's usually a lot of past life connections that I see that show up. It's really cool like that. I love reading any family members who share a birthday. It's usually a really serendipitous thing, and there's almost always several, if not tons of connections that show very strong past life connections together and lineage together.
Thank you, Jade.
Jessica, your daughter was born on your birthday too? Yeah, she's definitely, if you intuitively feel like, oh, she's very much from my past life, for sure. It is there. I remember when my son was born, my first child, and I knew immediately we had been together in another life before, and he has a very large mole right on his chest, like right by his breastbone. And I remember seeing that going, oh, that's where the arrow hit him. And I kind of like, what was that? Right? It was one of these intuitive things I didn't know I could do at the time, and now I recognize what it is. But I ended up having quite a few visions of his and my past life together, and it's in our chart. And at the time in that life, he was a prince, and he had quite the ego. And we were in the Roman Empire, and I was his tutor. So I was connecting him to the arts and philosophy and, teaching him these things. And we had a lot to do yet, and we were still working on our stuff, but his ego just got too big, and he went out on a conquest and ended up dying very young in battle, and we didn't get to finish what we were doing. And so we came back together in this lifetime as mother and child. And frequently I have to remind my Leo rising that he is not a prince in this lifetime, and he needs to go do the chores.
It's funny how we have to remind them of these things.
Yep. Oh, so fun.
Debbie, I did set that Caribbean moon aside for you.
Yes,
If
so
you
much
see anything
alike.
out on the table that you want to see up close or know more about, let me know.
So pretty.
I'm trying to quietly work. I have to keep muting my mic because it's really echoey.
It's because
So
we
this
didn't
is
do
due
what the
more to your
card
right.
said. We didn't
Right?
do what the
It's the
card said,
technology.
Stacy. We didn't work out the glitches first.
Yes.
Significance of this moon for Cancer. Oh, Cancer. I love you guys.
Hopefully Jason's listening.
Right? So Cancer is ruled by the moon. All right. So we have to just take a moment and take a deep breath for all of our Cancer peeps, because they're so changeable and moody, and we love them, and they're so changeable and moody. And when the ocean is calm, people go to the beach and it's beautiful. But when the ocean is upset and the storm's rolling in, you go inside. Where's our Florida people, right? You go inside and you board up your doors and you wait for that hurricane to pass, right? So Cancer energy in general gets affected quite profoundly by the moon. And I would always recommend people with strong Cancer placements to do some type of moon practices, moon rituals, grounding, affirmations, anything they can to really help them identify their emotions and let them move through them and not get stuck and lost in them. It's not easy.
That's why Jason secretly likes all the moon rituals.
For sure. For sure. I have my 10-year-old has 4 planets in Cancer: Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter. So she really gets affected by full moons, and we know this. So we keep her away from her sister as much as possible.
Sometimes you have to do that.
You just do. You just do.
So Wanda, just one moment. Serena did ask the price on this, so she does have first choice. So Serena, let me know. $33.33. It's a resin, and it has lots of colorful glitter. No worries, Wanda. And I do have the white one. I'm just trying to be quieter tonight because, especially with the echo, and I'm enjoying listening to Laura too.
Well, yeah, you got Miss Chatty Cathy here, so you know.
So
Stacy, I was just looking at your chart. This full moon is happening opposite your Mercury. Your natal Mercury is 7 degrees Sagittarius. So the sun will be very, very close, not quite exactly conjunct or on top of, but very, very close to your natal Mercury. So you communicating about emotions is really something that's going to be a theme for you, and finding ways to really express and explain any kind of feelings that you've been maybe keeping inside or kind of brewing about or just have been bubbling to the surface, making sure you don't hold back and you allow your heart chakra and your throat chakra to work together and speak those out.
Well, that makes sense.
Good.
There's been some high emotions lately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So,
it's very
so I think
important
it
for
is
you to do
pertinent
that.
to be speaking up.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody's chart is different, but for Stacy's, this really affects her profoundly with her communication, and the full moon may even, because it's opposite, it may even cause her to kind of feel a little stuck in speaking. Like these emotions need to come out, but they might get caught in her throat. So again, some other ideas would be physical activity first, because fire energy of Sagittarius is very moving and needs some action. So if she's feeling real emotional, yeah, you could go do some workouts, some, cardio, maybe turn on some Black Eyed Peas and pump it louder, right? Pump it louder.
Right?
Start dropping
Dance
it like
party.
it's hot. Because that physical energy can help get the emotional energy going, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Love that. Love that. Oh, so one other thing I want to talk about with the full moon that we really need to take note of is that your moon in your chart, everyone's going to love this one, I know it. Your moon in your chart represents the way you view and understood your mother, or the person who was that mothering role for you, whether it was that's so pretty. Whether it was a grandmother or an auntie or whoever raised you, that mother is really where your moon sign is really connected. So when you've got a full moon in Gemini, it's time to really take a look at how you identify intellectually with the emotional stuff, emotional aspects of how you were mothered, and maybe do some deep dives into healing some of that. And maybe you weren't understood, or you didn't feel understood, or your emotional needs weren't met. And that can be some little T traumas. They're called little T traumas, not necessarily one big trauma, but little micro traumas. And it's not that your parents were bad or your mom was bad or anything like that. My mom's lovely. I see her all the time. But with my Gemini moon, I got really, really communicative when I was emotional. Really communicative. And because of my Aries sun, you get fire and air together, and it gets very intense. So my mom didn't quite know how to deal with my big emotions that came flying out my mouth all the time, and very open throat chakra. And she just tried to kind of distract me, which is actually a good technique for what my moon sign is, because I get very distracted very easily. But now as I grow older, I recognize it's really important to actually feel the feelings and understand them and deal with them and let them move through you, and not just distract yourself from them. So that's something that I help people with. And one of the things I'm super excited to share with you all is my new collective called the Cosmic Mama Collective that I just created, an online community membership space to dive in to all of this juicy astrology stuff and learn more about it. We have gatherings a couple times a month, various different things. If you have a teenager, we have an Astro Teen Chat that we do once a month to talk about the fun times of raising teenagers. And if you want to join every other Sunday, we do a Mindful Mama moment. And that's a gathering for an hour where we just do a check-in with ourselves and do some meditations. We bring in some crystals and some energies of these various crystals and what we need that day. And it's kind of like a church. I don't do church myself, but I love the consistent gathering of the church. So I decided to create this online space for not only myself and my own healing, but to share with all of my other weirdos out there who want to know about the cosmos and how they affect them and their children. So I just launched this community and I'm so excited. And Stacy's got a link for you all to share. She'll put that in eventually. And so we are just launching the Cosmic Mama Collective. So if that's something you're interested in, I would love to have you in this space where we talk all about astrology and reparenting yourself, reparenting that inner child within you, and then parenting the next generation a little bit different.
And the energy is so good there.
Yay.
And I do have a link. So I posted it in the group earlier. If you want to tag on that post, let me know and I'll tag you after the live.
Yep. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. I love to share my journey, but for me, social media is not a safe space where I feel like I can really be vulnerable and, really lean into the difficulties of reparenting yourself while parenting children. And it just, I needed my own community. I needed my own weirdo space where I can talk about all the strange stuff I do. So I'm here to help be the catalyst for change in other people's lives. And so the Cosmic Mama Collective is where I'm doing that. And I'm so excited to have Stacy in there now, and we'd love to have you guys join it. We have a founding member price. It's $87.77 right now, and if you lock in that founder price, it never goes up for you at all. So I'm really excited about this, and
that's for the year.
That's for the whole year. Yeah, that's for the whole year. All of the classes, all of the courses, all of the everything we're doing. I've got new speakers coming in and cosmic collaborators I'm working with to come in and speak. So all kinds of great educational things.
I will tag you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris. You didn't win trivia? Well, good. That means you can hop on here with us for a little bit. If you're interested in anything out here, you can ask about it. I've been keeping my mic muted tonight because it's really echoey. This is a selenite bowl, and do you see how thick it is?
That's amazing.
So pretty. Yeah. Really like this piece. So this one's a good deal. Has a little chip here. These are usually 52.22. And this one is 48 because of the chip. I also have star-shaped. Selenite's going to be that one that's recharging you. This feels like full moon energy. If you use selenite with your crystals, then you don't have to put them out under the full moon. It's very safe and protective.
Kim, I see you said you're a Virgo and your son is a Libra, and you want it your way and he wants it his way, and you both have strong organizational traits. That tells me if his sun sign is a Libra, then Mercury is either going to be the sign before it, the same sign, or the sign after it, because Mercury moves so close to the sun. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that Mercury for him is in Virgo as well. And Mercury is the planet of how you think, how you communicate, how you learn. And if you are both have these strong organizational traits and both want it your way, I can see where that would be, oh, so fun. I understand. Virgo is great at analytical, being very analytical and very detail oriented. And it can be very beneficial when doing accounting or math or organizing something, but it can be a little challenging when you're arguing with somebody with those characteristics, because they will call you on each little detail that you said or that you did, right?
Oh, Lark, you were working last night? Oh, I did leave Christmas crystals out. We have also full moon confetti. I also have Winter Wonderland still. I'll set you over there if you want to look at some of the Christmas. Trudy is asking about the Libra energy with this full moon.
Oh, Libra's gonna love this one too. Air and elements. Libra is so great at shifting when the knowledge is there. So again, Gemini loves to provide the information, then Libra takes the information and scrutinizes and then makes a shift once it has a good case to do so. I like to think of Libra energy as the lawyer, mind of the lawyer, judicial system, right? So a Libra tends to need to have a reason, or somebody has to make a case as to why something should be a certain way. Why should this person get this penalty? Why should we, judge this person this way? And it's usually quite fair and wanting things to be fair. So if we can convince with information that you need to make this emotional shift because it's in your best interest, X, Y, and Z, then you do it quite well and quite easily. So you do really, really well with information. So again, for you, learning your chart, right? Learning where your placements are, learning what your path is, what does your map say about you? That will give you that information that you need to then make the right next steps or make the shift that you need to make. So this full moon may be the push that you need to then make the change that you've been thinking about, or you maybe had in the back of your mind, like, oh, I really need to do that different, or I think it's time to do this, or maybe I need to go see a therapist soon. I've been thinking about that for a while, or it's time for a Reiki session or sound therapy, right? A million types of modalities. I really don't care. But the point is, it's time to then make that shift. And Libra does so great when you have that intellectual information that we are then providing for you tonight. Is take a look at your friendships, take a look at the way you've handled your mother or the energy from your mother. Take a look at your own emotional needs. And are you getting your emotional needs met? What are your emotional needs, right? Diving into all of that fun stuff is really what you need to do to then make that shift.
That's good information for me too, because Lincoln is a Libra, and he is big into the whys.
Why?
For sure.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. They love information. It is really, I always think of, anytime you're struggling with a Libra, think of a lawyer, right? What does a lawyer need? Well, they need proof. You need to go out and find proof some way, somehow. It's got to be proof, whatever that looks like to that particular person, right? But they want to be shown the reason. There's got to be a reason for making this change, because any type of change for a Libra is going to throw off the scales. Even if the scales are off, they may be at least holding steady at being out of balance. So we're going to hold it steady there. But making that change might throw the scales into kind of a chaotic movement or just a little bit of chaos. And they don't like that so much. They don't like that chaotic movement. So if you can make moves and changes that don't throw the scales off so much, just maybe little bits of change at a time, that feels better for them.
I'd like to know that.
Are those amethyst polar bears?
They're fluorite, actually.
Oh, they're fluorite. Oh, I love them.
Right? They're so cute. Full of positivity. This one's nice and green.
Yep, there it is.
Those are 35.
So one of the things with the full moon you need to do is express yourself. Guys, express yourself. Tell your loved ones you love them. Tell your people you're struggling with that you're struggling. Talk to people. They don't know. I always tell my kids, I cannot see inside of your head, even though you think I can and that like I'm all knowing. That's funny. I cannot see inside of your head. You must communicate to me what is happening in there. So make sure that you are reaching out to others to tell them your true intentions. It's a really big deal. And think about how you learned to communicate growing up in relationships. What were you taught? What was your teaching from school? What did mom teach you? What did dad teach you? What did your religion teach you? Were you taught not to speak about your emotions that might bother someone? Right? Be seen and not heard. That is the cutest little tree. Be seen and not heard is a big one from the generation before me. I know that.
It's like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
That's super cute.
Kim, she does do natal charts. And she's actually running a discount on gift cards right now.
Yes. Yes, until tomorrow, Tuesday at midnight, I have 25% off of any of my gift cards. And Stacy, did I send you that link or did we put that?
I don't know if you did or not.
All right, I'll send that to you. Oh, your granddaughter's so cute, Rebecca. Oh, my heart. They're so compassionate. She told you she came here to Earth to take care of the animals. Oh my God. Yes.
That is so sweet.
Libra is so compassionate. And it's essentially what lawyers are doing, right? Lawyers are here to help people find justice and fairness and harmony and peace. And there's a sense of compassion there for understanding people and understanding the plights of animals, people, all of the living creatures. So I love that. Your 5-year-old said that. Granddaughter said that. Oh, Heather, we will hook you up. Serena, that was your parents with the communication stuff? Yeah. I
added you to the list, Heather.
Oh, thank you. I have some communication struggles for sure in my family, and it's not, like I said, not anything my parents did wrong. I love my parents, but they were both a product of their upbringing, right? When my mom was 5 years old when her dad passed away unexpectedly, and grandma was widowed at 26 years old with 3 little kids and was 6 months pregnant, and my mom was 5 and she was the oldest. So you can automatically, just that story right there, you can go, oh, well, I bet there was some communication struggles, right? Some emotional issues with communication and whatnot. So my mom and I work very hard on it, and we were very honest and very frank. If, stuff isn't going well, I'll call it like it is. And we do really, really try. And then my dad, same thing. He is a very sensitive Cancer rising. And his upbringing did not allow for that sensitivity. So he had to freeze that Cancer kind of bathtub, I like to call it, with anybody who's a Cancer rising. They have like almost like an aura around them that's like a bathtub. And they get very affected by other people's energy. Very, like if you drop something into water and it causes a ripple and a vibration. Cancer rising people, or any water rising, but specifically Cancer rising, can really feel that. And if it's too harsh, if the world is too harsh, they have to learn how to freeze that water so that it doesn't hurt them so much. That energy from the outside world doesn't hurt so much. So, that leads to communication stuff too. And so my upbringing was kind of chaotic at best. Like when things were good, they were fine. But then when they weren't, they were like the emotions were all over. The communication was all over. The lack of communication. It was either hot or cold. And that's probably why I have a Gemini moon. Here we are, hot and cold. So your upbringing teaches you that communication, or the not communication, right? So we got to learn how to let that go. Are Libra and Aquarius compatible? I love these questions. Yes and no. There's so many factors in compatibility. I can't actually say that. They absolutely could on the surface, but then down deep underneath, maybe not, right? There's so many different variables to compatibility. And I watch a lot of, astrology things. They're like, oh, this person doesn't go well with this person. And I never subscribe to that, because technically my husband and I shouldn't get along at all. And we've been together since high school, and we're 41 and going on 24 years here. So like I said, I don't, I don't subscribe to that too much, because it's all about how you work with the energies, right? And how you grow and how you mature through stuff, or don't. And there's too many variables to say if one sun sign will get along with one sun sign. So, sorry, I can't give you an answer exactly.
And having a direct reading with your whole chart information
Yeah,
can be better too.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So if you wanted to have me read both of those charts of that Libra person and Aquarius person, then we can get into it. Then I can tell you how their communication is, and what their love language is, and where they're going to struggle or where they're going to really flow. Yeah, that's my jam.
Kim, I wrote you down. I'll tag you after the live.
Jade's got some wonky emojis tonight. That's okay. It's a full moon. Everyone's got wonky emojis.
Yeah, we're still having technical difficulties over here.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up, Jade. You have some good experience with that, don't you? So that is a good one. If you're dating, yes, doing a partner chart with a potential mate is very helpful. I do know some astrologers that won't even touch that with a 10-foot pole. And I actually, the same astrologer won't actually do parent and children readings either, but this person also doesn't have children. So I think that makes sense. But I really think it can be very helpful to know a little bit about what you're getting into. You don't have to deep dive into all their personal stuff, but if you're starting to date someone, you definitely would benefit from learning how they communicate. Do they communicate in a slow, stubborn, methodical Taurus way? Is there Mercury in Taurus and you can't push them? Or if you do, you'll get some bullhorns up your butt? Or is there Mercury in Gemini and it's very chatty and it's like a hummingbird over here, over there, right? How do they communicate? Do they keep things all internal like Scorpio? Is there Mercury in Scorpio? And you won't get anything from them because they're Batman, right? Like what is their communication style? That's super important to know. And with our Gemini moon ruling communication, you got to know that. How do they feel emotionally fulfilled? If you're dating somebody, it is so good to know if they love touch, if they need to be having words of affirmation, if they want acts of service. You can see all of that stuff in their chart. And it's super nice to know what you're getting yourself into. I think it's super beneficial. Yep, business agreements
It
too.
really is. Yeah. The business agreements too, just checking to see where all the energy is fitting. Trudy, I will tag you. And Chris, I will pull over the Sagittarius confetti for you.
Heather's hubby is Batman. Dude, you guys don't even know how many. Batman had to be like 17 placements in Scorpio. I don't even know what else he would be. Like he lives in a cave. Everything is black. He talks real quiet like this.
I'll take it.
Everything about Batman is Scorpio. I think that's funny. Yes, I actually work with a couple businesses, and I do business readings for the people in the business. So I've done this with a massage business locally here. I've done this with another business that does kind of like a cooperative thing, and the people working together really wanted to make sure they really worked together well. And how does each person handle anger, or when they're emotional, what do they need? So I've done a lot of business readings for companies as well, and I love doing that. It seems to be really well received and very necessary, because I don't think many people really know how to communicate as effectively as they would really like to. And how else do you learn? Like, you can read a couple books and that's cool. There's lots of communication books out there, but really understanding yourself and then the people you work close with is so, so helpful. Sagittarius confetti.
I will set aside a moon for you, Cynthia. It's the deal of the day. If anyone would like a do more to your right, they're $7.77.
All right, Stacy, I need one of those. Put one aside for me.
Yes, I will.
Do it.
I'll send an extra one for Philip too.
Oh yeah. One of the best things I think I've ever done is really started to dive into mine and my husband's chart. And he's got 4 placements in Capricorn, and they are definitely the glass half empty of the zodiac. Nothing wrong with that. We need these people in our lives. They're the ones who find the faults in the bridge that needs to be fixed, right? Or the needs to repair the foundation of the skyscraper. We need these people to scrutinize all of this and kind of judge us a little bit. It's important. But my optimistic, ridiculously thinking, bubbles everywhere, thought bubbles all over the place. I like to just imagine and dream and let things flow. And my husband sometimes feels it's his job to throw darts at my bubbles. And I have to remind him sometimes that I just want to dream right now and I really don't need the bubble burster active. So if he could just sit down and shut up, that'd be great. Thanks so much. So I'll tell him I don't need to be Capricorn tonight. Thank you. And he knows what that means. So instead of him getting offended and me getting angry because he's cutting down all my ideas, I just communicate to him, hey, I want to just dream and let some ideas fly. Don't tell me what's wrong with them or why they won't work. Thank you so much. It makes for a happier marriage. Ooh, that's a pretty scoop.
It's a good one. This is for you, Chris. You have a Tata tumble in there.
Yes.
And we have smoky quartz. We have lots of rhodonite. And some calcite for some calming of that Sagittarius energy. And Amazonite to promote your truth. And you got a cute Sagittarius pin.
Nice.
Thank you, Chris.
So another energy we can check in with the Gemini moon, and then our oracle card we pulled tonight, 3rd house, is siblings. So check in with your siblings or your sibling-like friends, right? Your sister from another mister, right? Those siblings that you really called into your life because you chose them, and the siblings that maybe you didn't consciously choose. So check on them. Look for any shadow rivalry and see if you can switch it into a mutual encouragement where everyone can have a win-win scenario. So you
That's
need
so
to
true.
take
Like
that.
even Jason said, he's gonna start the Scorpio spouse support group to teach encouragement of the intensity.
Yep. I love that Scorpio spouse support group. We need to start that
Yes.
with the Cosmic Mama Collective. That'll be one of our monthly meetings.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm
That's
not
fun.
intense at all.
No, not with Saturn right on top of your sun. You're right. Nope. You guys, if you don't know this about Stacy, she has a 19-degree sun in Scorpio and a 19-degree Saturn in Scorpio in her 10th house of life purpose and contribution to society. This girl is here to go deep and go big, and she's not going home. She's getting it done.
Right.
She is getting it done. As soon as I
Share
saw
my
her chart, I was like,
passions.
as soon as I saw her chart, I'm like, oh, I'm getting on her business bandwagon. Oh yeah, we're going. She's just got it. She's got this intensity and this drive like I've never seen anyone. It's amazing. I love people's charts, like looking at people's charts and finding that good, juicy energy in there. So fun. So
It
fun.
is fun. I love learning it from you.
Aw. Did anyone see Jupiter in the sky last night conjunct the moon? So Jupiter and the moon were conjunct in Taurus last night or yesterday. It was the last 24 hours, and it was so beautiful to see them next to each other. I was looking at it, tried to get a picture, but the phones don't do it justice. But Jupiter is a phenomenal planet of expansion. I call it your superpower planet. You guys, where's your superpower? That's where you need to pull from so that you can really light up the rest of your chart and work with your energies well. You got to find your Jupiter. Stacy's got her Jupiter in Capricorn, the workhorse, the hardworking CEO, gonna get it done and do it right the first time, damn it, because we're not doing this a second time. We're gonna figure this out. Yeah, we're not redoing stuff. So
thank you, Heather and Cynthia.
Stacy is amazing. But where Stacy's Jupiter is located in Capricorn, my favorite part about her chart is it's in her 12th house. And the 12th area of life really rules our spirituality, our spiritual connection, and our healing abilities, like really deep healing abilities with healing generational traumas, with our own lineage, and healing our soul's lineage with past life stuff. And it's a really great connector to all of our angelic healers, all of our spirit guides. So she's very good at all the spiritual stuff, which is why she's a Reiki master.
Yes, and I feel it so deeply and such a strong connection.
Absolutely,
And
you would.
and I'm grateful for the healing work that I've done to get me to the point where I've recognized that and that I can embrace that part.
Yeah. I love that. How do I feel about Pluto? I grew up with it as a planet. Well, it's certainly still an orb in the sky, and it still has an energy, whether us measly humans call it a planet or a dwarf planet. I don't really care. It's a planet that has a powerful energy. Pluto is here to cause massive transformation in our life. So wherever Pluto resides in your chart is where you are here to do the Phoenix thing. And by the Phoenix thing, I mean you're going to basically grow and expand and then have a death and then a rebirth and a renewal. Now, death doesn't necessarily mean a physical death, but a part of you. So there are certain people, my husband's one of them, that has what's called a Pluto life, where he has a lot of Pluto experiences because of how the planets were when he was born. Pluto is going over the top of each one of his natal planets at some point in his life. So when you read charts and stuff like that, it'll say things like, you will live many lifetimes in one. So basically, you kind of keep reinventing yourself and transforming yourself into a new being. And man, if he hasn't done that, I don't know what he's done. So it very much is this intense transformational energy, and it's here to make sure we don't get stagnant, right? We don't want stagnant energy. So Stacy's got her Pluto in the 9th area of life, or the 9th house, in Scorpio as well, which is where Pluto loves to be. She's a 2-degree Pluto Scorpio. And the 9th house is teaching, educating, travel, expansion. And Stacy, how much have you traveled?
Oh my goodness, so much. And I love it. And I love meeting people.
Yep.
Yeah.
You transform through your travels. You literally go travel in order to have transformational experiences, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you come back and teach people what you've learned in your travels. So the 9th
Yes,
house
that's
is
what it's all about.
It's the guru, it's the professor, it's the learned one. And Stacy's here to really have these death and rebirth cycles, to keep learning and keep growing and keep transforming who she is and how she shares what she's learned. So she's going to keep doing that, and it's always going to pertain somehow to spirituality, because her Pluto is talking in a really easy conversation to the planet Neptune, which is our, I like to call it like our phone, our direct line. Hello, spirit. Hi. Right? You get to dial right into spirit. And Stacy is like a massive master manifester. She's so good at it. If you guys need something manifested,
I enjoy that.
You just call her up. She'll just dial it right in. Hello, spirit, this is Stacy. I would like to order this, please. Right? She's so good at it. So good.
Cynthia, I'll set that aside for you.
So, Kim, to answer your question, I do actually really like Pluto. A lot of people get scared of Pluto and they're like, oh, that means death. Well, okay, yeah, death is a part of life. So we all know that that's happening at some point. But death doesn't always mean physical. And there are many times in our life where a part of us must die, right? So I really appreciate Pluto and the lessons. Now, that's because I'm on the other side of a lot of them. And if you would have asked me while I was in the middle of some of those transformations, I would probably not be answering like that. But here we are on the other side. So Pluto is either destruction and or creation, right? I love to think of it as giving birth. I gave birth 5 times. You have to basically surrender to that destruction so that you can push out this creation and basically rebirth yourself in the process. And that's very much a Pluto activity for sure. That is a type of
really
death.
is. And sometimes those transformations, because they're so hard and they're so big, they can take a long time, but they can just help us grow so much. That's where we gain our wisdom.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh. And knowing what's going on with the planets in the sky. So those are called the transiting planets. So I do readings like that where I take your birth chart and then I read the planets around what's going on in the sky and how they're affecting your birth chart. And if Pluto in the sky is talking to any of your natal planets, we can understand that those are going to be activated and they're going to need to transform. So whether you fight that transformation and have a massive destruction, or whether you work with that transformation and have a renewal and a creation, is up to you. My job is to help you translate it and interpret it. Pluto transits can be tough, but they can be some of the most beautiful experiences as well. So, perspective. That's what Gemini Moon is about tonight. New perspective. All right, Stacy, you keep
Debbie,
talking.
that one is fluorite.
I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. I just grabbed a sip of my tea. Isn't she fabulous, Kim? I could listen to her talk about this stuff all day. I've had a couple of readings done with her. She's pretty amazing on her insights.
Aw.
Wanda, I will set that aside for you. It's a nice big bowl. And selenite is always prone to chipping because it's a softer material.
Does anyone have any astrology questions or anything off the top of your head you want to know? Stacy, we have not done a solar return reading for you yet. You just had a birthday this month, and we have to.
I know we do that.
We have to dive in and do that.
We
So
go
if you
on.
don't, yeah, if you don't know what a solar return reading is, I'll explain that one. So this is basically your assignment for the year. So each year, when the sun comes back around to the position that it was at your time of birth, so Stacy's, for example, is 19 degrees and 29 minutes of Scorpio. When the sun comes back around to that place every year, there's a new chart that's formed. And essentially, I like to think about it as the universe or God or spirit is handing out your assignment. Here's your new map for the year. Here's what your assignment is. So you get to take your natal chart, your natal energy, and use that energy and apply it towards your assignment. So it's just like when you go to school, you get a grade, right? Here you're in grade 7 or grade 12 or whatever. And during that school year, these are the things you're going to be learning. Here's your curriculum and here's your assignment. Well, we have that with astrology too. And so I can look at your solar return chart to see what your assignment is for the year. And I cannot tell you how helpful this has been for my understanding of what's going on. I had planet Uranus, for example. This is the planet of sudden chaos and change, and it really rules electricity and your nervous system. And my solar return in 2021, Uranus was in my 4th house. And that was the year I was pregnant with my 4th baby. And it was the year of the, pandemic stuff, all that. And it was the year my maternal grandmother was dying and my mom was her caretaker. So there was a maternal lineage, and this was in my 4th house of parenting and mothering. And my mom and I and my kids and I were just never on the same page that whole year. My nervous system was agitated. I was pregnant. I was irritated frequently. It was a more difficult pregnancy than the first 3. And my mom and I just kept like, it was like a hit or miss. Sometimes when we would talk, I'd be like, oh, good. Okay. This is a good conversation. We're good. And sometimes when we'd talk, it'd be like our, like 2 hot wires that were bzz, bzz, like trying to be spliced together, but we had to go shut the power off first. But the power was still on and we just were not working. We were not jiving. And it was a tough year for all of us. And the moment my birthday came around, I remember it so vividly. My mom and I had a phenomenal conversation on my birthday. And I felt my whole, like my whole body after a dog shakes after their hackles are up, right? That shake, I felt that. And it was such a relief knowing that stupid planet was out of that stupid position that had been causing me so much irritation for the whole year. And I feel like I skirted by that assignment with like a D or a C. Like I got through the class, but probably not very well. So
and
that's
that
how I
happens
use
sometimes.
It does. And that's how I use solar return readings, because it's so important to know, A, this energy is not going to last forever. It's just, it's just this year and you can get through it. And here's the lesson you're supposed to be learning. And man, is that so helpful. I can't even tell you.
Yes. Wanda, I wanted to tell you, I do have a bowl that doesn't have chips. If you wanted that, it's 5222. I actually have two. And I see Kim asked a question. She said, is Virgo always ruled by Mercury?
It is, yes. So Mercury
There's
is the
some good
ruler.
questions in the chat too.
Yeah, Mercury is the ruler of Virgo and Gemini. So we've got both an air element and an earth element, and Mercury rules both of those. So both are very intellectual signs and very knowledge based. So Virgo is the detail oriented, very analytical earth energy. And Gemini is the up in the air, grabbing all the communication, grabbing all the information and spitting it out. So I like to think of Virgo as like the physical energy manifested, and then Gemini is the intellectual energy manifested. So they're like the yin and yang of that intellectual Mercury energy. How does Scorpio and Pluto? I've been feeling a lot of changing, but I feel I'm blocking it. I'm Scorpio. Okay. So anybody who's had Scorpio placements or has Scorpio placements this past month and a half has just kind of wreaked havoc on you. Really. It's been a rough November for
it has been so rough.
I just want to give a shout out to all my Scorpio and Taurus people because it's opposite each other, right? So we had the sun, Mercury, the sun, Mars, and a planet, an asteroid called Ceres, all trekking through Scorpio this year. So they were making a little parade. Do, 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 do. And anytime they all go over a sign together or an energies together, they light it up. So the sun acts like a spotlight. I don't know if any of you did this when you were younger, but this is what we did in Wisconsin. We went deer shining. So we would drive out in the dark and we'd have a big spotlight and we'd shine it out in the field looking for deer. So
I miss doing that.
That's funny. So you get to see what's showing up in the dark, right? So when the sun goes through the darkness of Scorpio, it lights up all of these undercurrents and these dark things that we need to deal with. When Mercury goes through Scorpio, we need to transform the way we're thinking. That's what that energy is asking. Mars just went through Scorpio. Now, this is an interesting one because he takes 4 years to go around the zodiac. And he does not always meet up with the sun and Mercury when he treks through there. But this year, he happened to do that. So if you had themes from 4 years ago reoccurring this year, that's what's going on. Mars is the action planet. That's the car. Get in the car and go. So we had Mars going through Scorpio up until a few days ago, actually. And this would have been taking action on transforming. You got to transform. You got to dig all that garbage up so it can bubble to the surface so you can create awareness consciously and deal with it. And this is where crystals come in really handy when this energy is feeling really off. I know I was using some I use labradorite a lot. That seems to be my go-to for just grounding energy. Stacy, what's one you use when you're going through transformations?
Good question. I really like sphalerite.
Ooh.
Yeah, and sphalerite is a crystal that's going to kind of help you feel your spirituality physically.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, I really like that. These are aura sphalerite. So these have the titanium enhancement. So these are more bold energy with the sphalerite. But yeah, I really like sphalerite.
That is super cool. So yeah, this year has been really rough for Scorpios, but what I love about it is the asteroid Ceres, Ceres. I pull in the asteroids a lot because they are the feminine energy of the sky. And she has been going through Scorpio. She just entered into Sag just a few days ago. Her job is to teach us what we need to fill our bucket, to nourish ourselves. We need to mother ourselves and take care of ourselves. How do we do self-care is what Ceres is asking. So this last month, if you've really been feeling this need to deeply transform how you do self-care, you are rocking the energy of the universe. You are in it. You are feeling it. It's time to really take a deep look at how are we filling our soul? How are we filling our body with food and drink? How are we filling our mind with the news or with audiobooks or podcasts, right? How are we filling our energy field is what Ceres is asking us to take a look at. And if we need a
I needed that
transformation,
reminder too.
right?
Yeah.
If we need that transformation, it's time. I love that. So, what are things looking like? Lori wants to know, what are things looking like for 2024? That is a broad question, Lori. You're right. Okay, so what is
but
the
we
most
wanna know.
relevant? Right? The thing that I love to talk about is that's the most relevant is a really big thing. Actually, it happened back in March, and that is Pluto. Like I talked about, our planet of transformation. Pluto moved into Aquarius, and he just dipped his toes into Aquarius for 6 weeks. I ended up having a baby during that 6 weeks, so I have a baby during this little generational shift here. And what that gave us was a new flavor of what's coming, a little transformation flavor of when Pluto moves into Aquarius. Now, Pluto has been trekking through Capricorn since 2008. Does anyone remember what happened in 2008? Well, there was a housing situation and there was a financial situation on how we build houses and how we do construction and how we do the foundational stuff of our life, which happens to be what Capricorn rules. So we've been now going through this transformation of this patriarchal energy of Capricorn. And if you noticed in March to April, we had legal things happen. That was when the start of the Supreme Court rulings started to overturn some things on women's rights. And Capricorn really likes to maintain control, really control energy sign. And Pluto is demanding that that gets transformed. So what he's doing is creating an awareness around that. So we got a little taste of it in Aquarius for 6 weeks. Then he retrograded back into Capricorn. And now in mid-January, he's going to go into Aquarius for the next 20 years. Now that's a big deal because I don't know how many of you know your history, but there was a thing that happened the last time Pluto went into Aquarius called the American Revolution. And basically the creation of the American financial system. Also, right after the American Revolution was the French Revolution and the taking down of the monarchy in France. So Aquarius is known for revolution, rebellion for a cause to build something greater. Aquarius is humanitarianism, everybody working together to solve the problem. So whoever made the comment before about the sadness of the situation with the world, I don't feel so sad because Pluto's trekking into Aquarius and he's not going to tolerate this crap anymore and he's going to make us do some changes. And I love that. I love Aquarius because it's weird, it's unique, it's eclectic, and the ideas are like that and they just happen. They just changed. It just has to be. So when this happened last time, it was 1777, you guys. That's a long time ago. A lot has changed since then. But what hasn't changed is that women still have kind of a lesser role in society and not so much say over what they want and can do and get paid and all that. So I feel like my prediction for this is that the revolution that's coming is the feminine and masculine integration and balancing. So we're going to have this feminine revolution of more females in the government, more females leading in general, right? Just in general, more female voices, more female rights things like that. I see a lot of that kind of stuff coming, just with a lot of the other energies too. So I don't do a lot of predictive astrology, but that's the energy I feel inside myself, and I'm so excited for it. I can't wait. Also, of course, the financial system. So if you think about America starting their new financial system the last time around, you can think, oh, something with the financial system is going to change this time around as well. So just kind of be aware of those changes. That starts in January, and I'm super
It all
excited
sounds
for it.
super exciting.
Right? So excited.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the new year.
Me too. So that's the main thing in 2024 I like to talk about, because it really affects us globally, and that all has a trickle down effect. And I'm excited for the chaos. I like chaos. Much to my husband's dismay. Rebecca, both of your parents and your first husband were Virgos.
I do too.
What you attracting so much Virgo energy for? Interesting. Lots of analytical energy there. So pretty. I just like watching you dig through it.
Me too. It's so fun. It's therapeutic. If anyone would like us to, you can get on the list. You'll be first on the list.
Right.
This is the full moon confetti. I also have Winter Wonderland confetti and Sagittarius confetti. But we try to go live during the moons, and this is the full moon confetti. Serena, I agree with you. I want a bathtub full of confetti too.
Can we do that?
Yeah, we might have to have like a retreat or something.
Let's do it.
And we'll all get into the confetti bath.
Yes, please.
Deep healing in there.
Got to watch out for some of those pokey pieces, though.
Very true. Kim says she has many Aries in her life, personal and professional,
Ooh,
and as tough
like
as a Virgo.
You like some of that spice, caliente. I'm an Aries, so of course I love the energy, but
spicy.
Yep. The thing with Aries is hopefully they're mature Aries, because it's the first sign of the zodiac. It's very childlike, and as you know, children can kind of be asshats a little bit if they're not mature. So sometimes too much Aries energy can be a little bit immature and can get a little difficult to deal with, a little childlike, but for the most part, they're super fun, quite optimistic, outgoing, and very great, very, very great at coming up with new ideas to launch and just new initiatives. Oh my gosh, what are you holding? That is gorgeous.
It's another piece of that rainbow moonstone. So that's natural to the obsidian. It's refraction off the air bubbles that form at the surface.
That is so cool.
Yeah, this one's 111. It's one of my favorites to work with because, like we were talking earlier, for balancing the chakras.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the only pieces when Jason went to Tucson in January. I was like, you better bring me a double heart. And he did. I have hearts and moons, butterflies, stars. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Lark, I'm not sure where everyone's watching. I'm showing right now there's 20 people watching. I'm not sure if more people are watching in Crystal Ascension right now or if they're watching on a public feed. And Rebecca said her husband is a Capricorn, but he does tolerate her beliefs.
They tolerate things pretty well.
Serena, the small moon is 1555. And Danielle, the moon's 1555 and 3222. Kim, you see 10 in Crystal Ascension? Yes. So then everybody else is watching somewhere else, either on one of Laura's feeds, on YouTube, on Royal Gems and Minerals. We're everywhere tonight.
We're everywhere. We're in
Serena,
the
I'll
cosmos.
set it aside for you.
That's the coolest thing to me about technology is like how we can be everywhere and nowhere all at once.
True. It's really nice. Yeah, I'll show you the other side, Danielle. Let me take the sticker off for you. So it's flat on one side. Let me wipe it off too. You'll still see my fingerprints. The light just helps me show you on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And the color is not as bright in person, but you can still see it, especially in the bright light.
So one of the ways I love to use crystals with astrology is recognizing your elements. So there's of course air, fire, earth, and water. And when I do your chart, I can pull up the different elements and the elemental makeup of your chart to see what you're dominant in, maybe what you don't have any, planets in, and help you balance that by connecting you with Stacy so we can get you the right crystals to really balance that energy. So if you're missing water, we would need to access more emotional side of you, more fluid flowing state, and there's crystals that help balance that. If you're missing earth and you need help with grounding like me, you get those lovely earthing stones and you wear them as pendants or earrings or whatever, put them in your pockets, in your bra, whatever you got, and you wear them frequently. Especially I do that a lot when I go out into public or I'm teaching or family events. I wear a lot of earth heavy crystals that really, specifically for me, labradorite is the thing. And that works really well for me. So we can use your chart to really help you harmonize your energies and maybe help you with certain deficiencies in your chart where you're maybe a little low in fire. We can get you some spicy crystals, right? Help you find some spice again. So that's what I love with merging the energies of what's inside of us from what Mother Earth has provided.
Right? And they work so synergistically together.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even have to believe that they work, which is beautiful. Right? You can be skeptical.
That's my favorite saying. You don't have to believe in astrology, it believes in you. So how will Aquarius's health be now? That's a really good question. My advice for anybody with planets in Aquarius, with Pluto going through there for the next 20 years, is to really make sure you are aware of what transformations need to occur within you. Where are your planets in Aquarius? What degrees are they at? Are they at early Aquarius degrees or later? Is that a butterfly in that stone?
Yes, it is.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Right? I love this stone. This one's also 111. These are hand carved in Mexico. I actually met the person who carved them. So it's pretty cool.
And that's a heart. That's
Yeah.
such beautiful sculpture. Like they're really working with these are earth people who do this.
Yes.
These are earth people who can connect with the earth energies of these crystals and be able to carve those like that. That's
I
a
know.
gift. That is a gift.
It was really fun to meet them all in person and talk to them and hear their stories and learn about their families.
Wow. Super
Yeah,
cool.
really fun.
So yeah, back to Aquarius's health. It's really a matter of what planets do you have there and recognizing what energies need to be transformed. So I have my planet Venus in Aquarius. You always have to be specific when you say Venus and emphasize the V. I was doing my podcast. If you want to tune into that, it's Ram and Goat Astrology podcast. And I was saying the word Venus a lot, and I recognized on some of the podcast recordings, it did not sound like I was saying a V at the front of that. And then I was laughing at myself because it kept sounding like I was saying penis all night. So, fun times. I'm such a child. But Venus in Aquarius, for me, for example, I will have to really transform the way I bring in income and the way I do relationship. Like those are going to be really demanding that I really work on the health of my relationships and the health of my income and the health of how I value things. So that will be the transformation energy for me. If your sun sign is there, you need to transform how you identify. What are you identifying about yourself? How are you describing the I am, right? So whatever planet is there is what's going to be asking for that transformative energy. Stacy, you don't have any planets in Aquarius.
That's interesting.
It's just sitting there by its lonesome self in your first house. So actually what's interesting is Aquarius for you is called intercepted. So that's a new word for probably a lot of you. Intercepted is when a sign is completely encompassed or enclosed in one house. So the house 1 for you starts in Capricorn and it ends in Pisces. So Aquarius is completely kind of hidden in there. And what that usually indicates is that Stacy's weirdo energy or unique energy or eclectic rebellion energy is kind of hidden in her chart. And she wasn't taught that growing up. She wasn't demonstrated that energy. So she needs to grow into being a weirdo. So I'm helping her with that. It's cool.
Exactly.
Right? So she's
I'm
learning how
embracing
to
it more.
Exactly. As you grow and mature, your intercepted signs start to kind of blossom like a flower, right? They slowly start to open and then like much like a dahlia, they completely open and unfold all the way. So as we age and mature in this earth existence, our signs that are intercepted in our chart really start to kind of become more of a theme, more of an energetic thing we can feel.
Yes, an acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And because Stacy's Aquarius is in her first house, that's the house of I. I am. So she needs to start to embrace I am a rebellious, eclectic weirdo. So, that's cool.
Beware,
Welcome,
everyone.
Welcome. I love it.
Tanya, all I need you to do is send me a private message with your email address, and I will send you a request over to your email. And if you have trouble finding me, Tanya, I will send you a private message after the live, and it might just go to your message request folder.
Welcome to the club. Lori, I like you.
Me too.
Welcome to the Weirdo Club. And I say weirdo with all of the love in the world. You guys don't think that's wrong. Like, weirdo's a trait we admire here. We actually just rebranded our farm this early January. My husband and I, when you put our charts together, there is a chart called a composite chart. So you can merge two people together, and it is a new energy that's created. And when you combine my husband chart and my heart chart together, we become very Aquarius. We have Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Mercury, and it's all in our house of purpose and career and what we're supposed to do. So we rebranded our farm the Aquarian Acres this past January. So we officially became weirdos this January, just officially now.
Announced it to the world.
Announced it. Yep. I feel bad for those who are missing out too, Lori.
Truth. Sarah asks, does your birthday affect the moon and where you're at in life?
Does your birthday affect the moon? Well, it affects your birthday is, important for finding out what your natal moon is. But yeah, for sure the transiting moon is going to have an effect, but it's not as big of an effect as much as like Saturn or some of the bigger players. The moon really has a lot to do with your inner world or your moods, which is why little kids and elderly are so affected, because when you're under 8 years old, you really live in your moon sign. You haven't quite fully developed into your identity of the self, which is something that shows up around 8 once you have your first Saturn experience. And so that's when your sun sign really starts to emerge, or your identity. But before that, it's really just an emotional being, right? We're very, very emotional little people. I've got a 2.5-year-old, so send help. And Stacy does too. Our girls,
Yes.
our girls are like 2 weeks apart, I
Yeah,
believe.
something like that. They're pretty close.
Yeah. So that is a big player in your emotional day-to-day routines, but which of course can affect your life, in bigger ways. But the moon is more of like an inner, how we doing today emotionally. Maybe today I'm crying, maybe today I'm happy, today I'm needing to, get some work done, and I'm emotionally in like productivity mode. So that's kind of how that works. I hope that answers your question, Sarah.
And Rebecca, I wrote your name down. I will tag you so that you can get in touch with Laura for a reading.
For sure. I would love to help. My daughter, who's 2, is an Aquarius sun. She was born on a new moon, so she's an Aquarius moon right next to it. Aquarius Mercury, Aquarius Venus, Aquarius Saturn, Aquarius Jupiter, and Aquarius. There's an asteroid in there too. I can't remember the asteroid, but she's got 7 things in Aquarius. And this hasn't happened since like 1962 or something, 63. And when I had her, I just like my jaw just kind of dropped, because I love some Aquarius. My Venus is there, so I value that. But it's one thing to intellectually know that this kid is going to like bring massive change and stimulate all kinds of new activity, and it's another thing to live with it on a daily basis and experience it in reality. So that's fun. So I'll try my best to help you with your Aquarius daughter, Rebecca. It's a fun game. Force of nature is no joke. I like to call my daughter, and like she's a sandstorm or a sand tornado. She's got a lot of earth and a lot of air, and when you have those two, it's like a sandstorm in the desert, right? And what does everybody do when there's a sandstorm? You cover your face and you run for cover. You run and hide. Here we go. Should be really fun.
Laura, if you can post your link,
Yeah.
if you can do it, I think if you click more at maybe the bottom of our feed,
Absolutely.
you should be able to put your link there, and it should post to everywhere.
Okay.
And then also, while I'm thinking about it, when we are done, you need to stay on when we say goodbye for everything to save properly.
Ooh, we want that.
Yes. I forgot to tell you beforehand, and I'm like, oh no.
All right. I won't go nowhere.
And if you asked for a tag, I did write your names down. And I put the link for the private group, Crystal Ascension. We have a lot of the comments and people that are talking are in there. So if you're not in there, you won't be able to see their comments. And we'd love to have you join our Crystal family.
All right, Stacy, I sent you my link because I'm not.
Okay.
It's not letting me share.
Let me see what I can do. I'll let you wrap things up out here, and I'll see about posting your link really quick.
Perfect. I sent it in Messenger. So I am so thrilled to have been on here tonight. This was just, oh my gosh, so much fun. And as you can tell, I can talk pretty much forever. So I appreciate you all joining in and learning and sharing this evening of information with you and utilizing this Gemini full moon. It happens to be on my natal Gemini. So I'm so excited to see what this energy brings for me and what I end up releasing and bringing a new perspective to. And I can't wait to work with some of you or have you in the collective and just keep growing and expanding and sharing my love of knowledge and all of the weird stuff with you. That's my favorite thing to do. So if anyone
and I'm
needs
just
to find me,
lucky that I get to hang out with you in person.
I know, right? Sometimes we get to have full conversations without being interrupted too. Sometimes.
Okay, that's only happened like once.
You guys, we have 10 children between us. 10. 10.
Yeah, that's wild.
And they're all like 14, 12, 14, 13, 12. They're just,
yeah.
There's a lot of them. So when we get together, it's cool, but our kids like us a little too much and they won't let us talk.
Exactly.
It's quite irritating. We're like, go away. Stop liking us so much. Go somewhere else. But I really
it's always fun.
I really enjoyed this. It was such a pleasure to meet you all through the virtual internet space and share some crystal time and astrology time. And I hope we get to do this again soon.
Yeah, and maybe we can make it more of a regular thing.
I hope so.
And we can have Laura post in the group with her astrological updates for the new moons and full moons.
Absolutely. And if you want to follow me and learn a little bit more about me and get a real good flair of my personality, Ram and Goat Astrology is my podcast. You can find that on all podcast players and then YouTube as well if you're a YouTube person. So I do that with my business partner and astrology school partner, Helena, who is from Stockholm, Sweden. And so her and I work on Zoom, and we are across the world from each other, and we record every week and have so much fun doing that. So if you're interested in a new podcast platform, check it out.
Yay! Well, thank you, everyone. And I think the next time I'll be live will be Wednesday. So make sure you check the events tabs for all the details. And if you need anything, feel free to send a message. You can reach out anytime. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week and enjoy this full moon energy.
Absolutely. And Lori, the name is Ram and Goat Astrology. So I'm the Ram. My partner is the Capricorn Goat.
I love it.
All kinds of stuff. Yep.
Well, you all have an amazing week. And I look forward to visiting with all of you again very soon.
Happy
full moon.
Bye, guys.